Thompson's in the driving seat here, but watch Seville on the near side. It's ever so close. Seville from Thompson. Lyles at last.
At just 21 years old, Oblique Seville has done what many thought impossible. He dethroned Noah Lyles on the grandest stage of all, the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. On that unforgettable night in Tokyo, Seville delivered the kind of performance that left fans stunned. Before a roaring crowd, and with Usain Bolt watching, Seville stunned the reigning Olympic champion. As Bolt celebrated in the stands, it felt like history had come full circle. It had been nearly a decade since Jamaica last stood on top of men's sprinting. With Bolt's retirement in 2017, many wondered if the island would ever find another global 100 meters king. But on the 14th of September 2025, inside Tokyo's Japan National Stadium, Seville delivered a performance that reignited the Jamaican sprinting dynasty. Beside him on the track were giants, Olympic silver medalist Usain Thompson, the fastest man of the season at 9.75, and the flamboyant Noah Lyles, fresh off his Olympic 100 meters crown. The atmosphere was electric, with even Bolt paraded around the stadium before the final. And when the gun went off, Seville, cool, understated, and laser-focused, ran the race of his life. Crossing the line in 9.77, Seville ripped open his jersey and pounded his chest, a raw celebration that echoed Bolt's glory days. Thompson took silver in 9.82, while Lyles settled for bronze in 9.89. Jamaica was officially back on top. For Seville, this gold medal wasn't just a win, it was redemption. His past was filled with near misses: fourth place at the 2022 and 2023 World Championships, heartbreak at the 2024 Paris Olympics, where he limped to last place after injuring his hamstring, and constant whispers that he choked in finals. But Seville never saw himself as broken. Instead, he studied, trained, and perfected the part of his race that had cost him medals, the closing 30 to 40 meters. Finishing strong in the last 30 to 40 meters was something I was struggling with the whole season, he admitted. Now I have perfected it, and I was confident that if I could do it in the final, I would win. This time, there was no stumble, no hesitation, just raw power, precision, and belief. Coming into Tokyo, Noah Lyles declared he was in the best form I have ever been in my life. The American sprinter, known as much for his charisma as his speed, strutted, clapped, and taunted cameras through the rounds. Even after a shaky semifinal start, he recovered to post 9.92 and carried himself like the inevitable champion. But Seville had other plans. Lyles ran 9.89 inches the final, a strong time, but nowhere near Seville's historic 9.77. For the first time in his career, Lyles tasted defeat in a global 100 meters championship. The man who once looked untouchable was left clapping politely on the podium, a bronze medal draped around his neck. "It was a short season with injury, not a lot of races under my belt," Lyles explained afterward, referencing his ankle issues earlier in the year. Still, the optics were clear. The king had been humbled. Seville's journey didn't begin under bright stadium lights. It began in Kingston, Jamaica. His mother recalls that even before he was born, she felt him moving constantly in her womb. As a child, he was restless, vibrant, and fast. So fast he would challenge older boys at school and beat them with ease. By the time he entered Calabar High, one of Jamaica's sprinting powerhouses, it was clear he was destined for greatness. But destiny didn't mean ease. In 2018, tragedy struck when his father, Gerald, passed away unexpectedly. For Seville, it was devastating. "He didn't get to see my true talent. Imagine your first supporter passing away and never getting to see your success," Seville said quietly in an interview, holding a phone case with a photo of him and his father. That loss became fuel. Seville pushed harder, determined to honor his father's belief in him. He broke onto the scene in 2019, winning gold at the Carifta Games and Pan American U20 Championships. The boy who once raced in Church Isles was now racing against the world. One of the defining aspects of Seville's career is his connection to Glen Mills, Usain Bolt's legendary coach. At just 10 years old, Seville told his mother he wanted Mills to train him. Years later, that prophecy came true when he joined Racers Track Club. Under Mills, Seville honed his stride, his mental toughness, and his race execution. "Bolt is my idol, and I am now working with his coach. He knows how to get you ready, and he has proven that with me over and over," Seville said. And on that September night in Tokyo, with Bolt himself roaring from the stands, Seville proved Mills right once again. The torch had been passed. Seville's victory in Tokyo wasn't an isolated miracle. Throughout 2025, he had been quietly, and not so quietly, embarrassing Noah Lyles on the circuit. At the London Diamond League in July, Seville blasted out of the blocks and held off Lyles with ease, winning in 9.86. In Lausanne, he outran both Lyles and Letsail Tobogo with a 9.87. And back in Kingston, he dropped a 9.82 at the Racers Grand Prix, setting the tone for the season. Each time, Lyles was left chasing shadows. The American was still strong, but Seville's starts, acceleration, and closing speed had become too much to handle. By the time Tokyo rolled around, those paying attention knew Lyles was vulnerable. For years, critics labeled Seville as talented but mentally fragile. 2 fourth-place finishes at Worlds only fueled the narrative. But Seville pushed back. The narrative is that I have a mental problem going into finals, which is not the case. Over the years, I have shown my class. It's just unfortunate I haven't got a medal. Now I've proved I can win. Standing at just 5'7", Seville also defies the stereotype of the tall, towering sprinter. He laughs at it now. How many athletes with my height run the time that I am running? In a world dominated by taller sprinters, he's rewriting the blueprint for success. Seville's win wasn't just personal, it was national. Since Bolt, Jamaica had longed for a new men's 100 meters king. Yes, Thompson had shown flashes, but it was Seville who delivered on the world stage. With a 1-2 finish for Jamaica and Lyles' push to third, the message was clear: sprinting's balance of power had shifted. The last time Jamaica won the men's 100 meters world gold was in 2016 when Usain Bolt got it, Seville said. Now the gold is coming home. And with Bolt himself celebrating in the stands, fists pumping like a proud mentor, it felt like history had come full circle. Oblique Seville's triumph in Tokyo wasn't just about one race, it was about resilience, redemption, and rewriting narratives. At 21, he's already beaten the Olympic champion multiple times, silenced his critics, and brought Jamaica back to the top of sprinting. Noah Lyles, with all his charisma and flair, remains a force. But in the 100 meters, the crown has shifted. The humiliation wasn't just in the result, it was in the way Seville made it look easy. The torch has been passed. The world has a new fastest man, and his name is Oblique Seville.
I'm gonna do it, watch! I'm gonna do it! And everybody just like, okay, let's get a load of this guy. So when it does finally happen and you've, gotten the medal, it's like, wow, I wasn't crazy.
At just 28 years old, Noah Lyles has already conquered the sprinting world. With Olympic gold medals, multiple world championship titles, and an American record in the 200 meters, he has built a legacy many sprinters only dream of. But in a bold new interview, Lyles sent shockwaves through the athletics world with a statement so bold it left the entire athletics world reeling. He hinted at something game-changing, something that could shake Usain Bolt's legacy to its core. During the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, where he won gold in the 200 meters for the 4th consecutive time, Lyles was asked whether Bolt's record could ever be touched. His answer was direct and unapologetic. Bolt's record is going down. I know that I'm going to break it, he said. For Lyles, it's not a matter of if but when. He went further, pointing out the way fans react when athletes aim for greatness. The second most popular favorite hobby of humans after watching somebody achieve greatness is watching them fail. People love to watch people fail. They just do. I don't know why. It's just if somebody says they want to do something great, someone's right there next to say they can't do it. Then, with trademark confidence, he added, I can give zero cares about what other people think, because they don't know me, they don't know my story, they don't know what I do, they don't know how hard I work, how talented I am. But I know. I'm going to motivate myself regardless. I'm going to win regardless. I didn't need a rival at Worlds to run 19.3 because there was nobody close to me when that happened. This statement wasn't just bravado, it was a declaration of intent from the reigning king of sprinting. Usain Bolt's 200 meters world record of 19.19 seconds, set in Berlin in 2009, has stood untouched for more than 15 years. Bolt himself called that race the perfect blend of execution, speed, and power. Since then, countless sprinters have tried to get close. Most haven't even breached the 19.5 barrier. But Noah Lyles is different. In 2022, at the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon, he ran 19.31 seconds, breaking Michael Johnson's long-standing American record and becoming the third fastest man in history over 200 meters. In that race, he pulled away from the field with such dominance that it reminded fans of Bolt's prime. That 19.31 was just 0.12 seconds shy of Bolt's record. a blink in sprinting terms. What makes Lyles' claim believable is not just his speed, but his consistency. He has broken 20 seconds in the 200 meters dozens of times, including into headwinds that would slow most sprinters significantly. His ability to replicate fast times under any condition proves that 19.1 is not just wishful thinking, it's within reach. Noah Lyles' journey to this point has been anything but easy. Born in Gainesville, Florida in 1997, he grew up battling asthma and started out in gymnastics before switching to track and field at 12. Alongside his younger brother Josephus, he dreamed of competing at the Olympics after watching the 2012 Games on TV. By high school, Lyles was already breaking records. At the 2016 U.S. Olympic trials, he ran 20.09 seconds in the 200 meters, breaking a 1-year-old national high school record. Though he narrowly missed making the Olympic team, he qualified for the World U-20 Championships, where he won double gold in the 100 meters and 4x100m relay. Turning professional that same year with Adidas, Lyles quickly rose through the ranks. By 2019, he was a world champion in the 200 meters and 4x100m relay. In 2022, he cemented himself as America's fastest over 200 meters by smashing Johnson's record. And in 2023, he achieved the sprint treble at the World Championships in Budapest, winning the 100 meters, 200 meters, and 4x100m relay. Now, with 8 World Championship gold medals and an Olympic 100 meters title from Paris 2024, Lyles stands as the most dominant sprinter since Bolt. It's impossible to talk about Noah Lyles without mentioning Usain Bolt. The Jamaican legend revolutionized sprinting with his world records of 9.58 inches, the 100 meters, and 19.19 inches, the 200 meters. His charisma and dominance turned him into a global icon. But Lyles is carving his own path. While Bolt was known for his towering 6'5" frame and long stride, Lyles at 5'11" relies more on explosive turnover and relentless drive phases. Where Bolt often started slow and finished with a devastating kick, Lyles combines sharp acceleration with top-end speed that holds steady all the way through the line. The parallels between the two are striking. Both broke national records, both achieved global titles before the age of 23, and both embraced showmanship on and off the track. Yet what sets them apart is their era. Bolt's dominance came when the sprint field was transitioning, while Lyles faces a new generation of hungry talents like Letsile Tebogo, Kishane Thompson, and Oblique Seville, all pushing him to go faster. Breaking 19.19 requires perfection. Every phase of the race, reaction time, drive, transition, and speed endurance must align. But Lyles has shown glimpses of that perfection. His 19.31 inches Eugene was run with near-flawless execution. Analysts believe with slightly better conditions, like a stronger tailwind or ideal track surface, he could shave off more time. Physiologically, Lyles is in his prime. At 28, sprinters often hit their peak combination of strength, endurance, and experience. His training under coach Lance Brahman has fine-tuned every detail of his mechanics, from block starts to stride frequency. Add to that his mental toughness, honed from overcoming depression and setbacks at the Tokyo 2021 Olympics, and you have an athlete uniquely prepared to chase history. Even Bolt himself has acknowledged that someone, someday, could break his record. Lyles' belief that he can push the boundary to 19.1 is audacious, but history shows that audacity often precedes greatness. What makes Lyles' statement so powerful is that it's not just about a number. It's about defiance, confidence, and refusing to be limited by others' expectations. When critics doubt him, he shrugs it off. That mentality has carried him from being a young gymnast with asthma to becoming the fastest American in history. His message to Bolt isn't one of disrespect, it's one of ambition. By declaring that Bolt's record is on borrowed time, Lyles is challenging himself publicly, raising the stakes for every race he runs. It's a psychological move as much as it is physical, forcing him to rise to the occasion. Already, his words have gone viral. Clips of his interview are trending on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, with fans debating whether Lyles can truly dethrone Bolt. Some say Bolt's record is untouchable. Others believe Lyles' 19.1 target might spark the next great era of sprinting. Sponsors, broadcasters, and athletics organizations are all paying attention. A legitimate attempt at Bolt's record would draw massive global audiences, much like Bolt did in 2009. Lyles has the charisma, the talent, and the storyline to reignite mainstream interest in track and field. Noah Lyles has sent a message that is breaking the internet. Usain Bolt's 200 meters world record is on borrowed time. With confidence, consistency, and a proven track record of greatness, Lyles has positioned himself as the heir to Bolt's sprinting throne. Whether he runs 19.19, 19.1, or something even faster, his pursuit alone will captivate the world. For now, the sprinting universe waits. Can Noah Lyles truly do the impossible? If his words are any indication, the answer is not just yes, it's inevitable.
Lyles trying to find something. He stretches away. It is a global title again for Noah Lyles. 4 in a row.
Noah Lyles just won his 4th straight world championship in the 200 meters. He's the fastest man alive right now. But guess what he's thinking about? When he's going to quit running. Yeah, the guy who just made history is already planning his exit. And what he said is making everyone realize the end is closer than we think. So Noah just finished racing at the World Championships in Tokyo in September 2025. He won the 200 meters again. That's 4 wins in a row at the World Championships. Everything looked perfect. He's on top, he's winning. But then he said something nobody expected. And it's really simple. Noah said he'll know it's time to stop when he goes to a World Championships and doesn't win any medals. Not because he got hurt, but because he just wasn't fast enough anymore. He said,
"When I leave a World Championships with 0 medals, and it wasn't because of injury or something like that. When I leave because of 0 medals, or I fail to make a team for a reason of I just wasn't the top dog or I wasn't good enough to make the team, I'm like, all right, it's time. I think next year it's time for the swan song, and it's time to let the next generation have it."
Most athletes keep going until someone forces them to stop. But Noah is saying he'll walk away on his own when he can't win anymore. He's not going to hang around too long. He already has his final year planned out. Noah wants to race in 3 countries he's never been to. He wants to check things off his bucket list. He'll do some races close to home. And his very last race, he wants it at his own track meet where he can do whatever he wants. When he talked about that final race, he laughed. You could tell he was imagining it already. That's Noah. He thinks ahead about everything. Now let's talk about when this is happening. Noah said his final year will be between 2028 and 2032. He's going to race at the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. He'll be 31 years old then, but he's not going to the Olympics in Brisbane in 2032. That's when he'd be 35. He's saying no to that one. Someone asked if he'd run until he was 45. Noah laughed and said no way. He said ages 34 to 35 are his final years. After that, he's done. Last year, at the Paris Olympics in 2024, Noah realized something. He was turning 27 years old, and he told himself, I'm on the other half of the hill. Paris was his halfway point. Everything now is the second half of his career. Noah thinks about his age a lot. He wants to make the most of every year, every month, every week, and every day he has left. He said if he does that, he'll never have regrets. That's smart. Noah isn't scared of getting older. He's just trying to use his time well. And honestly, he needs to think that way, because younger runners are coming up fast. At the World Championships in Tokyo, Noah was the second oldest person in the 200-meter final. Only one guy was older. Everyone else was way younger. Oblique Seville from Jamaica won the 100 meters. He's 24. Kishane Thompson got silver in the 100. He's also 24. Brian Level got bronze behind Noah in the 200. He's only 21. And Letsile Tobogo, who won Olympic gold in the 200 last year, is just 22. These guys are young, and they're really good. But wait, there's a 7-year-old kid from Australia named Gout. He raced at the World Championships in Tokyo. He was the youngest person ever in the 200 meters at a World Championships. He didn't make the final, but everyone is talking about him. Noah knows Gout because they're both with Adidas, and Noah said something smart about him. He said Gout is young and talented, but Noah also said many talented people never make it to the top. Now let's talk about why Noah thinks he can keep running into his mid-30 seconds. Most sprinters don't last that long. Usain Bolt quit when he was 31. That's the same age Noah will be at the LA Olympics. So why is Noah different? After the Paris Olympics last year, Noah gave an interview. He said, LA 2028 is not promised, so take it in now. People thought maybe he was hinting at quitting soon, but then he cleared it up. Noah said he's definitely racing in LA. He even said he plans to race in Brisbane in 2032, but then he realized he'd be 35 years old. You could tell he was doing the math in his head. But Noah has something special. He found a great way to take care of his body early in his career. He said because of that, he believes he'll last longer than other sprinters. His coach agrees. Noah's coach is Lance Brahman. Lance thinks Noah is just starting his best years right now. That might sound crazy because Noah is already 28. But Lance says Noah will be really good through the LA Olympics. And there's proof Noah's body is tough. At the Paris Olympics, Noah won gold in the 100 meters. That race was super close. He beat Usain Thompson by only 0.005 seconds. That's basically nothing. But the crazy part was the 200 meters. Noah got bronze, which is still good, but not what he wanted. Noah was really sick. He had COVID-19 for the second time. He also has asthma. And that night, he